there, it's Julie Cantrell here, or Billy Juliana, and you know, it's helped me Rhonda hot in Nashville. Have I been mentioning a lot that it's hot? I guess it's hot all over the country, but it just feels like Nashville's especially plagued. But anyway, I'll try to stop complaining about that. But I do have more recycling to do and some things like that. I also need to grab something that's from a part of town that is a little bit difficult to get to because it's in the tourist district. So if I can get any footage down there, I'll try. We'll see. But just follow along and we'll get this underway. Bye. Well, I survived my recycling and the errand that took me into the tourist area of downtown Nashville. I definitely think it's time to go in and sit down. See you in a few. Hey there. Oh, oops, I almost fell. I'm back in a little less frenetic atmosphere. And I took those shots of Nashville downtown, not just because I had an errand to run down there, but because I wanted to add a little bit of clamor to enhance the video. But the scenes of Nashville actually do remind me of something that is pertinent to recovery from anorexia and restrictive eating disorders. Now, I am older. I'm 49. And I got the disease of anorexia when I was 9. So for 40 years I've grown and the disease has grown with me so that it's built this identity. And I don't want that identity anymore. So I'm wanting to put it aside and I have nothing to replace it with. I can't pull an identity out of a magic hat and I don't have much else there. But I do have clues. And I realized that some of the clues are in Nashville. And it's interesting because when I first started this YouTube channel, I didn't want to say where I was from. I didn't think it was really relevant to anorexia recovery. And in many ways it's not. However, Nashville can be used sort of as a metaphor. Just like my hometown, I recognize the flaws and assets in myself, and I recognize the flaws and assets in Nashville. And just like with myself, I recognize more so the flaws than the assets, and I recognize more so the flaws than the assets in Nashville as well. But what's really interesting is in the last couple of years, really since I started recovery, or getting into recovery and feeding myself more, whenever I see coverage of Nashville on a national scale in the media that's praiseworthy, I start to tear up and I get sentimental. And I wonder, why is that? What am I doing? Why am I crying about Nashville? And I think it's because I realize that the city has assets and I'm tied to this city and I want to see it thrive. And then I think, well, that's probably what's going on with me too, is that I know that I have assets. May not be clear on what they are quite yet, but I know that they're in there, and I want to see me thrive. So now, not everyone is going to have ties to a hometown or have the same metaphor going on, but I do go about and see in and about town little bits of myself that are not related to body image or resentments or regrets, but that are positive clues to who I am. Things, small things like, oh, I used to sing in that playground with my friends, or I took acting classes in the basement of that building. Things like that, just really small things, and I hold on to those now, and I file them away, and I am going to use them to start building this identity. And it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in a week. It's going to take a while, and it's just going to have to form over time. And part of what's going to help it form, I'm going to always tie back into this, is consistent feeding myself to the mental hunger that I've got and the physical hunger, but mostly mental hunger because that's the stronger of the two right now, and the resting, those two. But the work that I'm doing along with that is to hang on to the clues that are outside of the body image, because if I imagine myself in the future of what I want to be or who I think I was meant to be, that ideal self, it can't have anything to do with a picture of what I look like, because my body's going to control all of that. So I'm going to hang on to these little clues that I see about me in my hometown, and I'm going to start building an identity and an ideal self with that. And that's going to be some work I'm going to do to neurally rewire things in here and replace that old identity that I don't want. But it's going to go along with the eating and the resting. Now, as I said, the whole city metaphor may not relate to you as well, but I know you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying that if you're older and you're kind of lost as to who you are or what you were, you have fundamental clues that are out there that are not related, again, to body image or resentments or regrets, anything like that, but that are positive. So hold on to those. Write them down if you need to. I've written some of them down. And just then go with it. Keep building with those. And like I said, they won't all get consolidated at once. But eventually, as I keep eating, I think that I will, and resting and just giving my body all that it needs, my brain will start to sort all of this stuff out. So that's just the message that I wanted to provide today as a result of all the frenetic energy and all the life that was going on downtown in Nashville today. So with that, I say take care. Oh, and I do need to add the music query, which is, what are your favorite songs? Let me start that over. What songs have, let me start that over. I'm failing on this. What are your favorite songs with interesting sound effects? Okay. Ian Motors. Okay, so what are your favorite songs with interesting sound effects? Okay, so that's my query. Tell me which songs you think have interesting sound effects. There are tons of songs that have sound effects going on in them. I'm talking things like, you know, like the Beatles, Yellow Submarine, and the Beatles alone could fit this category, but there are many, many other songs that have cool sound effects in them. So just let me know which songs you like that have cool sound effects. Okay, thanks.